Hello, gorgeous people. Happy Monday. How are we all doing? So, as you hop on and join me, say hello. Tell me how you are today. I hope you've had a beautiful weekend. I certainly have. I do feel like I need another weekend, though, to kind of not recover. That sounds awful. But I feel like I need a few extra days this week. How are we all doing? How are we all feeling? How is the manifesting going? I would love to know. Thank you for those of you that have sent in your questions. I've got some fabulous questions to go through with you today. But if you have other questions that we haven't quite, you haven't managed to send through, then pop them in the comments and I will try and cover them today. If you're watching on replay and you have questions, again, feel free to put it in the comments. I will look back at the comments. And if there's anything I can help you with, I will certainly do my best. So bear with me 2 seconds while I get the video up so I can see your comments come through. There we go. Sharon, lovely, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. I hope you have a gorgeous day and I hope you're doing something lovely to celebrate. Oh, I feel really honoured that you decided to join me on your birthday, and I hope you will get immense value from this today. So, yeah, happy birthday, lovely. So, should we dive straight in? Should we get straight into the questions? Let me have a sip of my coffee first. My one coffee a day, I allow myself. So some of these are brilliant. There's some fabulous questions here. So thank you so much for those of them, for those of you that have submitted them. So the first question was, what do I do if I don't want to do the marketing side? Oh, and I get it, right? We didn't go into this because we wanted to be some kind of marketing expert or have to know how to do every single thing in our business. And when I first started my business, I felt, if I'm honest, really resentful at the idea of having to do this. I just wanted people to come in and, experience some beautiful healing and feel so much better and help them transform their lives. I didn't want to have to jump through lots of hoops to get people in the door. So I get it. And there's a couple of things I would say on this. The first one being, you get to make this your own. So if you think about the steps that we looked at on day 3, what I would say is, if you want a truly successful business, then you get to make each of those elements your own. And the more you can do that, the more there is. So what I would do is ask yourself, what are you calling marketing? Because marketing can be many different things, right? For me, a lot of my marketing is actually posting about things that I'm really passionate about and I just want people to know, and I would really love for people to think about. And if they do, I know it's going to really help them. So for me, that doesn't feel like hard work. That feels like something I want to do anyway. I also have a podcast where I talk to people about different things that are going to be of use to them, things that they can start thinking about in their own lives. So 1, they get to know me better, but 2, they get to know my services, but 3, they get to know themselves better, which is what I'm so passionate about and really want to help them create that transformation in their life. So me doing that doesn't feel like some kind of yucky marketing strategy. It just feels like me talking and sharing and helping people to understand why they might need help, because a lot of the time people don't get that right. We just bumble along in life and keep repeating the same patterns, and often we can't see why we might need help and support. So really, that's what marketing is. It's finding a way to communicate to potential customers about ways in which you can help them. And, feel free to make that your own. Do it in a way that feels really good. So other things I do that I love to do is things like this. So I will do free 5-day challenges or a free workshop to help people to understand where they might have a gap in their knowledge or a gap in understanding where they need help, because that's what the marketing's really about. It's about helping people to understand where they can change or where you can impact them or where you can make such a beautiful impact in their lives. So I would start to perhaps see if you can change your idea around marketing. It doesn't have to be some icky thing. It gets to be an extension of you. It gets to be an extension of the healing or coaching or spiritual work that you do. So I hope that helps. And get creative with it. Do whatever aligns to you. If you don't want to go live on Facebook, don't go live on Facebook. If you would rather sit behind a microphone and do a podcast, do that. But what I would say is, when you're first starting out, or if you're early in your business journey, or if you're finding, perhaps you've been in your business for a few years and are just not seeing the results, then I would streamline your focus to where you're marketing. And instead of spaghetti marketing, so marketing on lots of different platforms everywhere, focus on one thing and do it really well and, dominate that platform. So that might be Facebook, that might be a podcast, that might be Instagram, that could be TikTok, that could be Pinterest. But focus on one platform and do it really well. You're going to see more results that way. Sharon, you can hear your husband putting the massage table up upstairs. He is a very reluctant sports massage therapist, and he takes a bit of encouragement, but you asked for one for a birthday treat. I love that. Oh, I do love a massage. And it's not really a birthday without a massage, right? So, enjoy, lovely. That sounds fabulous. So that was the first question. I hope that helps. If it doesn't, get back in touch and we will have a chat about it. Number 2, is it possible to create a successful business and still have balance? Of course it is. Otherwise I wouldn't be doing it. But what I would say is, what does balance mean to you? So think about in terms of your own life, and don't necessarily feel like it's got to meet someone else's standard of balance. Because for me, what balance looks like might be very different to what someone else's balance looks like. But by all means, create your business around your idea of balance. So this is one of the things about having your own business, right? You get it to work around you. It doesn't have to work around everyone else. It doesn't have to work around your clients. You create a business that works for you, and then you tell people that's what you offer. So for me, I don't mind working evenings because I do the school runs. I will often have a break in the day. There's often, I generally don't work on a Friday. I don't really work on a weekend. Sometimes I do, but I'm not attached to what it should look like. What I tend to do is check in with me and see what balance feels good for me. So I would rather, like say, work an evening and have a break in the day than work 9 to 5. 9 to 5 doesn't really work for me because my energy dips in the afternoon, and I like to have that time to meditate, read a book, go for a walk, watch an interesting documentary. I like that break in the day. So, see if you can let go of what you think balance looks like and really tune in with yourself, tune into what would feel really good for you. Some days I'm working early in the morning, then I know I've got the rest of the day off. So, I would let go of any preconceived ideas you have around what balance is. So yeah, but of course you get to have a business that's in balance with the rest of your life, that creates harmony. And a massage, it's so difficult to get one there in the rural part of France. You can't believe that you've not thought of this before. Yeah. Do you know what? During lockdown, my husband and I, so I love a massage. My husband loves a massage, but not as much as I love a massage. So one of the ways we kept ourselves sane during the lockdown was we would alternate giving each other massages. So it was something to look forward to in the day when, the whole world was falling apart. We knew we got a massage or we were giving a massage. So by all means. And I've helped you to think of this and all the talk about self-care. Oh, I'm so pleased, lovely. I'm so pleased. It's what it's about, right? It's creating a life that really serves you. I'm so pleased. You've just made my day. So, question number 3. I don't know what to say in my posts. What is it I should talk about? There's different theories around this, different marketing strategies that you can use. But what I have found for me personally is that actually the posts that get the most attention, the posts that convert people into clients, are the posts that come from the heart. They're the things that, when I share vulnerably, when I talk about the challenges that I've had, when I talk about how my life has improved, or the improvement I want my clients to see or my clients have seen, those are the posts that have the most impact for people. There are strategies around talking into people's pain points, which is, where you can talk about troubles and frustrations that people are having, or you can talk into the transformation that you want someone to see. Other kind of messaging strategies are around things like pointing out where people are making mistakes. My honest opinion is, if you get stuck or like try and follow a marketing strategy, and by all means you need to know these things, but if you start trying to like really follow a marketing strategy about, I'm going to talk about this on this day and this on this day, I think you lose the power. And from my experience, the most powerful messaging has always come from the heart. It's always come from a place of truly wanting to help. It's always come from a place of being excited about helping someone to transform. So whether that's transform their health or transform their business or transform their life, then actually when I come from that place, people feel the energy, because it's all about energy, right? And what I would say is, if you're struggling to do that, if you're struggling to write from the heart, if you're struggling to or speak from the heart or talk from the heart, then this is where you need to come back to what we did on day 2, where we look at that energetic upgrade, where we look at stepping into the version of you that's already doing it, that's already got the successful business. If you didn't have to worry about money, or, if you just knew the clients would be coming in, what would you want to say to them? What would you want to say to the world? What is your message? What is your heart? One of my coaches used to refer to this as like the Evita moment, where she stood on the balcony and just wants to share her heart and soul. What would your message be? What is the thing you would want the world to know? And try and tap into that energy and share it from a place of love. And you'll find that people get it and they feel your energy behind that, and they feel your intention. Of course they're going to want to work with you. Why wouldn't they? You're going to help them. So yeah, I hope that helps. Number 4, I've kind of touched on this actually. Number 4 was, I don't want to go live. Is there an alternative? Yes. So if you don't want to go live, don't go live. Absolutely fine. When I say live, live as in going live on a social media platform. But what you do need to do is find a way to communicate to potential customers about what you can offer. So that could be, if you're more comfortable with writing, then that might be writing posts that are, again, from the soul. They've got that energy behind them, but in a way that's really going to catch people's attention. So you might want to think about the imagery you're using and what does that convey. And I would steer clear of kind of using imagery that everyone's using, because you're just going to get, swallowed up in the sea of social media. So things that are really going to grab attention, things that are going to make people stop the scroll. And you'll find your own style around that. The more you play with it, the more you will find your own style. My style has changed a lot over the years. When I first started out, it was rubbish. I'll be really honest. It was like, I look back at look back at my early posts now and just think, oh my God. But it wasn't, I couldn't be doing what I am doing now without going through that early period of trying to figure it all out, trying to figure out what works for me, what I like, what I don't like, what my customers like, what speaks to them, what doesn't. You have to go through that journey of figuring it out. And, there's some things that will work across the board. And, in the Business Academy, we go through all of that. But it's also about what speaks to you, what conveys you. So this comes back to your values. Thinking about your values, how are you conveying that in your imagery, in your branding, in the way that you speak, in your messaging? So what words convey your values? And, building that all into your marketing, because that will help people understand who you are and what you stand for. So again, alternatives to going live could be things like, so other than posts, you could use something like Pinterest. If you want to do more visual things, then that's a really good platform to use for those that are more visually inclined. You can use platforms like podcasts. It depends on your business what is going to be the best platform for you, but you could potentially use things like, so I'm on the Insight Timer, which is a meditation app. So I post my meditations on there, so people can find out about me through that app. What I will say though, is I didn't have all of these things at the beginning. My main platform in the beginning was Facebook, and I focused on building my community on Facebook. And that was my main focus. That was what really allowed me to build connection with people, allow them to get to know me. So yeah, I did the live strategy. I did that. But like I say, I'm also using things like podcasts and stuff now. So whatever works for you. And what I would say is just check it's not an ego thing. If you're worried about being judged, or what if people don't like me, or, if it's something like, I don't know how to use the technology, you can figure all of that out. I didn't know how to do any of this before I started, but we figure it out, right? So just check it's not like a fear of being visible, that this whole not wanting to go live thing. And if that's the case, then in the academy, we go through a process to help you get more comfortable with being visible, because that's one of the hurdles we've got to get over, right? We've actually got to allow the world to see us so that they can come to us. So we've got the work, so that we've got the clients, and we can help transform people's lives, which is ultimately what it's all about. So we've got to kind of kick that ego to the side for a certain amount of time. Okay, this is an interesting one. So I feel like I'm doing all the things, but I'm not attracting the clients or making the money. Do you have any advice? Yes. So sometimes it can feel like we're doing all the things. If we think about everything we went through on day 3, and you can think, well, I'm doing all of those things. Why isn't it working? Why is it not clicking into place? This is where you need to jump back to day 2. So if your energy is out of alignment with what you're doing, then you won't see the results. So, for example, there's a difference between writing a post on Facebook that's like, I offer Reiki treatments, message me, compared to talking about, I mean, for example, you could talk about the Reiki precepts, couldn't you? You could do a beautiful post about how you yourself have struggled to, just for today, do not worry, and how that shows up in your own life, but also the medicine that's given you and the teachings and the learnings that you've had through trying to practice just that one precept. And then you could talk into the space of, you know, if you want support and help in learning how to use Reiki to actually support your own health and well-being and your own inner peace, and ignite that part of you that is just willing to live as the fullest version of her, then get in contact. Do you see how the energy is very different to message me if you want a Reiki treatment, which is what I keep seeing. I keep seeing posts like that. And then I can imagine people are just not getting the results from it. They're just not. So yeah, have a think about the energy you're bringing into all of those activities. If you're going into those activities as a tick box, they will not work. All of these have got to feel really aligned. They've got to be really intentional. There's got to be the energy behind them that is going to draw people into you. And that takes time to, find your voice, to find the confidence, to let go of that ego, to allow it to, float into the background a little bit more and allow this version of you that's already doing it to step forward. And another really good tip I would say is, if it's around the marketing or what other people are doing, notice what you yourself are drawn to. So notice the post that you're drawn to, notice the imagery you're drawn to, notice the events that you're drawn to, the products that you're drawn to, because this will tell you a lot about what you truly want to offer. But at this stage, you might be telling yourself you're not there yet, or, they're more confident than you or more professional than you, or all of these judgments we put on ourselves. We have to let that go and just step into that version of us that's already doing it, that's already in complete alignment in her business, has the most successful business, already seeing the results. Then operate from that place. Because one of the other things we can do is operate from this place of scarcity, which is like fear and our nervous system being in overdrive. And it's all about, I've got to get the results. I've got to bring the money in. I've got to pay the mortgage. I've got to do all of these things. Your audience will feel that, they're not silly. They know if you're coming from a place of love and wanting to help, or if you're coming at it from a place of, I just need to make some sales. They will feel that. So I hope that helps. So, check that you're not in some kind of scarcity energy. If you are, the quickest ways to kind of shift that for me are things like hot bath, massage, meditation, Reiki, journaling. I will often journal through any fear that's coming up for me and try and figure out, what's underneath that, what is the belief that is governing that fear, and try and work through it so that I can coach myself through it. That's what we're born for, right? Put into practice the things we know that work. How do I know if I have money blocks? Great question. So there's a number of different ways that you can know. If your bank account currently doesn't look like you want it to, I would suggest you have a money block. If you're not seeing that money come in that you want to receive, if you find it difficult to spend money, all of these would be signs of a money block. And so this is why the money, doing the money mindset work is so important. Letting go of any judgments you've got around receiving or giving money, any judgments you have or beliefs that you have around having money, having wealth. What does that mean to you? So getting really comfortable with that, working your way through those blocks, letting go of anything that's standing in your way. And yeah, I think we covered that a lot last week. So have a look back through the trainings last week about how to shift some of that. But yeah, the main thing is if your money doesn't look like you want it to, then there's a money block going on somewhere. Oh, another great question. Oh my God, these questions are brilliant. How can I sell without it feeling yucky? Oh God, I can so relate to this. So at the beginning, I really struggled with this. I felt so icky selling. So the first thing I needed to do was rewire my belief around selling. So at the time, whenever I thought about selling, I would see in my mind's eye like a car salesman. I would see, someone pushy. And you know what it used to remind me of? Like years ago, I'm going back like late teens, I had a job that lasted like 2 weeks where it was like telesales, where you would have to phone people up and try and convince them to buy double glazing. And there was a script you had to go through. And actually, I don't think I even lasted 2 weeks. I think I was like, do you know what? I have no desire to learn to be able to do this better. And I just left. It was like, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. And that's what used to come to mind when I used to think about selling in my business. It used to feel really, horrible. And so I had to rewire that belief. So I had to rewire that neuro pathway that was associating selling with that thing. And instead, wire my neuro pathway to think about selling as this form of service, which it is, right? If we're not selling to people that are in our communities, then how are they going to get the help and support from you that they need? You have to tell people about what you're offering and tell them why it will help them and why this is of value and why it's worthy of the money that you're asking for. So if you're finding that actually, this brings up a really good point, that is this about selling, or is this about the fact that you don't think you've got something of value to give? Or another misalignment that can come up here is that you're not happy with the amount that you're going to receive for it. So sometimes we can start self-sabotaging around this. So either we think we've overpriced something or underpriced something, and therefore we don't feel comfortable selling it. The other thing around this could be that you're not happy with what it is that you're selling. So you don't feel like it's delivering the value that you want or you desire to give someone. Now, that could be you falling into perfectionism, in which case, done is better than perfect. And it's through the actual doing that we improve things. So I'm constantly improving my programs. I'm constantly changing things in my membership and all my different, in my courses, constantly tweaking them and adding different things as I feel inspired to do so. But I wouldn't hold off on selling something if I thought there was if I didn't feel like it was 100% perfect, but I didn't think I could do that now, then I wouldn't hold off from selling that. But I would have to feel aligned to what it was that I was selling. So I would have to know it's going to be of value to people. So I hope that makes sense. I think that was all the questions I had. Did you have any further questions for me? Let me know. Pop it in the comments. I will take a sip of my coffee. And while you're doing that, I'll tell you about a couple of things. So the doors to my business academy are going to be open now until January. So we start, I was going to say the beginning of January. It's not like the 1st of January. It's like the second week in January we start. And so in there, we will cover all of this, as well as have the bi-weekly coaching, so that you can stay on track and make sure you're implementing it in your business. If you don't feel like you're there yet, then what I have got coming up in January, and I haven't confirmed the date yet, is a business immersion day. So it's an online business immersion day. We had one not that long ago, and it was so funny because, if you have like a workshop where you record a workshop, when you upload it, it often comes up with the thumbnail photos. So it will show you like snapshots from that workshop. So I'd uploaded it, and all of these snapshot photos was us just having like an absolute giggle. It was hilarious. There wasn't one where we weren't all laughing. So there was also immense value, and people got so much from the day. And this is really about starting to think about what are all the elements you need in your business and what would it look like for you. So if you're just starting out, that is a really good option. If that sounds good to you, get in contact and I will send you some more details around that. The other thing I have available at the moment is if you've got all the business stuff in place. So if you've got, you're doing all the things, but you're not seeing the results, then to me, this is an energetic alignment problem. So you're not fully allowing yourself to step into that version of you that's that next level, that's that energetic upgrade. And so I have got my chakra series coming up. So this is going to be an 8-week workshop series where we go through the chakra system and we uncover any kind of limiting beliefs that are holding us back from the most beautiful expression of us. So if that sounds really aligned to you, the early bird pricing on it has finished. However, just for you ladies in this group, I will offer you the early bird pricing. I think I've only got 5 places left on that though. So I would, get in contact if that sounds good. Sharon, you've got a question. You used to blog and use this as a platform for engagement with friends, family, and potential clients. Then the blog started to get into a bit of a rant about the challenges we were facing. I won't go into it as it was a political situation. You can guess, I'm sure. I now have a platform that I fear might damage my image, not enhance it. Sometimes I think I should do a blog entry, kind of drawing a line under it, saying that I'm not in that place now. Not really sure. 1 minute. Not really sure if this helps or hinders. What's coming through for me as I'm thinking about that is, I think it really depends on the values that you hold in your business. One of the values that's really close to my heart is authenticity with my client group. So I will often, write a post or an email that's very vulnerable, and because that's who I am, that's a real value of mine, is to be really open and honest with people in my community. So if you're feeling uncomfortable about this and feel like this is something you want to address, then I would definitely write a blog or an email to the people that were reading it, and saying, this is how you're feeling now. And you look back on that and that's how you feel about that situation. So that would be my intent. That would be my advice, providing you feel like you've really moved on from that. If you feel like you're still caught up in that, then I probably wouldn't go there. If you feel like you've really healed from that situation, or you've, something's really changed from that situation, then I would. I hope that helps. And especially if it helps you just move forward in terms of, okay, done now, move on. Now you can carry on with what you're doing. You really miss blogging, as it was all really negative, but I'm not really in that place anymore. Yeah, then I would be honest about that and just say, that's where I was. It's not where I am now. And this is my intention for going forward. I think it's a really nice way to transition to a new phase. So, any other questions? We all good? I so hope you have enjoyed this past week. I mean, we've covered so much. There's so much value in everything that we've covered. And it made me laugh because I paid personally to go on a masterclass about something last week. And I paid quite a bit of money to go on it. And I just realized how much we had covered in this week through paying someone else to inform me of things that perhaps I could have figured out myself quite easily. So I hope you have got immense value from everything that we covered last week. I will keep it in the group for a while. So if there's anything that you need to catch up on, then please feel free to do it. Please feel free to revisit it and, message me if there's anything you will need help with or anything that you feel like you didn't quite land for you, or can you hear the pup in the background barking away? Anything that you've got questions about, then feel free to message me. I would love to have a chat with you and help you see the results you truly deserve in your business so you can go out and heal the world. I'm so pleased, Sharon, and keep us updated. I would love to know what happens. Okay, gorgeous people, I'm going to love you and leave you. Have a gorgeous rest of your week. No doubt I will be in here again soon at some point. But yeah, if you need anything, reach out. I will see you soon. Take care.